put a sleazy and deceitful end to Joe Biden's time as president today. He's just gone and done what he repeatedly promised he wouldn't do, and pardon his son Hunter 2 weeks before Hunter faced sentencing on 2 charges: cheating the taxman of $2 million Australian and lying when he bought a gun claiming he wasn't a drug user. But it's actually worse than that. What you're not hearing a lot of in reports is this pardon doesn't just cover these 2 charges. It's also for offences Hunter committed or might have committed or taken part of since January 2014. Now, why a pardon back to 2014, January? That's because in May that year, a decade ago, Hunter Biden was appointed to the board of Burisma, the Ukrainian gas company that faced investigation for corruption, even though he was an American with no gas expertise. But guess what? His father, though, was the American vice president in charge of Ukrainian policy, and that helped Hunter earn $1 million US a year from Burisma. That can't now be investigated, nor can other allegations of influence peddling, like allegedly earning $8 million US from China, trading on his father's name. How very useful, and what hypocrisy. Joe Biden had said again and again he would not pardon his son. His spokesman was still claiming that 3 weeks ago.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
So what changed? Nothing. Joe Biden just wanted to get his son off the hook. In a statement, he said, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion that Hunter was singled out only because he is my son. And that is wrong. Enough is enough, he said. Now, there is in fact a double hypocrisy here. Donald Trump was sure singled out for prosecution by Democrat prosecutors, including ones in Biden's own administration, for alleged crimes that almost no one else would have been charged over. And now Democrat politicians are fuming that Biden has handed Trump another moral victory. Congressman Greg Stanton, for instance, said this was wrong. This wasn't a politically motivated prosecution of Hunter. And the Democrat governor of Colorado accused Biden of putting his family ahead of the country and setting a bad precedent that would tarnish his reputation. Joining me is the panel, Michael Kroger, former Victorian Liberal President, Steve Conroy, former Labor Senator and Cabinet Minister. Michael, the president pardons his son. Fair enough?
Well, probably, Andrew, because I don't trust the American legal system myself after what they've done to Trump. So in a country where they elect judges and judges sought election on the basis that they would go after Trump, as the guy did in New York, can you trust the system? I don't think you can. So from here, it's very hard to judge whether Hunter Biden was properly convicted. From those tweets, you probably think he was. But, you know, I have doubts about the impartiality of the American criminal bar and the prosecutors. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but as Donald Trump says, what about all the people that were jailed for years and years and years for a protest at the Capitol in January 6th? You couldn't trust those judgments either. Stephen, what do you make of that pardon?
Well, I think the whole concept of presidents having an ability to pardon felons is a very poor principle in any democracy. So I don't actually support
isn't it?
The ability for any president. It is really weird. I mean, Trump immediately said, what about the protesters / demonstrators? I don't quite have a benign a view as you do, Andrew, about what actually happened that day. I think there was a genuine attempt to subvert the democratic transition of power. But Trump now will just be able to wave the Biden one around and go, I'm freeing people who were involved in what ultimately were people dying. So I don't support this particular thing. It's a quirk of an American democracy. I'm not aware of any other democracy that allows this. I think it's a bad decision. And I think that now Democrats will not be able to complain well when Trump commits a string of outrageous pardons. I mean, you even got to remember Matt Gaetz himself 4 years ago attempted to get Trump to pardon him. Trump actually said no, to his credit, one of the few. But he didn't. Well, but he's pardoned Jared Kushner's father-in-law, who now he wants to be a representative.
That doesn't
to some
come
other country.
within cooey of this one.
This
doesn't come within cooey of this one. His son was found guilty.
So this is a bad principle.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
It is a bad principle. I totally agree.
So the father-in-law was found guilty. It's a very bad principle, and And a whole bunch of bad things are now going to flow from Biden's selfishness.